Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you don't already know me, my name is Sam. I am a licensed cosmetologist, and today I am going to teach you how you can trim your hair at home, because let's be real, going to get your hair done at the salon can be expensive. And if you are just looking to kind of dust off some split ends and just kind of clean up your cut, it's easy enough that you can do it at home. I will say I don't recommend doing a full-on haircut on yourself at home if you don't know what you're doing, but what I'm going to teach you is pretty simple, pretty foolproof, and you'll be able to make your hair nice and healthy, get rid of any of the dead gross stuff. So what you are going to need is a comb. You are also going to need a clip, and you are going to need some professional hair cutting shears. Trust me, okay? I am helping you out here and telling you that you don't have to go to the salon, but you have to buy actual hair cutting shears, because if you are just using regular scissors you have laying around, craft scissors, kitchen scissors, it's not going to give your hair a clean cut, and it's going to damage the hair shaft, and you're just going to end up getting more split ends, and it's going to defeat the whole purpose of trimming your hair. So I will have a link down below. You can get a pretty inexpensive pair from Amazon, or even just go down to the drugstore if you want to do this today. So what I like to do is start with a section on the bottom and then split that down the middle, pull it all forward. It doesn't have to be a super thin section, but you also don't want it to be super thick either. And then take your comb, especially if you have longer hair, this will be easier to do, but get nice and close to a mirror and then hold the hair between your index finger and your middle finger in your non-dominant hand, and then twist and pull down like this. I literally just cut like a foot of hair off my head, so my haircut is fresh and good, and I don't think that I really have any split ends. But if you do, any splits that you have as you are rolling your fingers down, those strands will pop up and you will see that they're split on the ends. Just take your shears and very carefully snip off the little splits that are popping off. You want to be careful and take your time with this, because if you start going too fast, you might accidentally snip a chunk of your hair off. You don't want to be doing that. You just want to be getting the individual strands that are popping up. So just go through section by section. Most of the time, you're going to have the most split ends down on the bottom few inches of your hair and throughout the top layer. Make sure that you actually see that it's split at the end. You don't want to just be cutting a bunch of strands of hair, because then you're just going to have all these little like short strands, and if it doesn't need to be cut off, don't cut it. So that's how you can clean up the split ends. Now if you want to actually trim some length off of your perimeter, you're going to do the same thing. Start with a relatively thin section underneath, split it down the middle, pull it all forward, comb it through, pinch it between your index and middle finger, and just pull it down straight, and just the tiniest little bit, because anything more than that, if it's not perfectly even, it's going to be noticeable. But if you are just doing a dusting and you're just cleaning it up, that's not going to be as noticeable if you don't do it 100% perfectly. You would just continue, same thing, go section by section, keep splitting it down the middle and the back, pull it all forward, and then when you are done with all of it, you want to brush it all out and then make sure that everything is kind of coming close to the same point. What I like to do also, just to make sure it's as blended as possible, is I will point cut. So what I mean by that is, instead of holding my scissors this way and just cutting a blunt horizontal line, I would go into it vertically and I would just kind of point cut a little bit. And what that's going to do is it's going to diffuse that blunt line, so that way it just helps it blend a little bit better, again, if it's not like perfectly straight, and it'll just give you a softer look on the ends. Now, one last thing If you want to use texturizing or thinning shears, I have seen so many videos online of people using these, and I cringe so hard. So if you want to use these, what these do basically is this, as you can see, is graded. So it's not just cutting a straight line. It's cutting like almost kind of like a zigzag line. So this is really good for blending, and if you want to debulk, like if your hair is really, really thick and heavy and you just want to take some of that weight out, that's what these are for. If you want to use those on your hair, here's what you should do. Take the top section of your hair, like starting a couple inches, I guess, above your temple. Just that top layer that's like falling over everything else. Clip that away and do not touch it with your texturizing shears, please, for the love of God. If you're hacking at that top layer of your hair with these texturizing shears, you can end up, especially if you overdo it, you can end up with a bunch of little short pieces that are gonna be sticking up all over the place. We don't want that. So we want that top layer that's gonna lay over everything to stay looking nice and smooth and sleek. And then split your hair down the middle again, pull it all forward. And then I like to just take vertical sections at a time. Same thing, put it between your index and middle finger, and then cut into the hair vertically. I see people go in and they just chop horizontally. That's gonna create steps in your hair, and then you're gonna have, again, these short little pieces that are gonna be sticking up, and it's gonna make your hair really frizzy. You do not want to do that. So whenever you're using texturizing shears, do not cut horizontally, always cut vertically or at some type of an angle. So what I normally do is I will take the hair and I'll hold it up like this between my fingers, and then on the ends, because again, you don't want to be cutting anything short up in here because then it's just going to be sticking up. So you really just want to do the ends, like the last several inches of your hair, and then I cut into it vertically, brush out. You're going to see all that hair that you just cut now fall out. This is still going to stay the same length. It's just not going to be as thick and blunt. I guess I could do one little piece just to show you an example. So cut into it vertically. See? So this hair didn't get any shorter, it just got thinner. I just removed weight. And then anything brush through and you'll get the extra. And holding it up at an angle like that is also going to help make sure that there's no line. You don't want to be able to see any choppiness when you're debulking. You want it to be completely seamless. And then I will run my fingers through it, because if you run your fingers through a section you didn't do and then run it through the section you just did, you'll feel a significant difference. And if it still feels heavy, then you can go back through and do a little bit more, but I would just be careful. I would just do a little bit, maybe like 2 or 3 snips at a time, brush it out, feel it, see how you like it, and then move on to the next section and just continue doing your vertical sections all around your head, and then let down the top, and that's it. So yeah, those are my professional tips. Like I said, I will have links in the description to everything that you need. Good hair cutting shears, texturizing shears, all that good stuff. And I hope that this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. That way YouTube will push it out to other people and other people can find it. And if you'd like to see more tutorials like this one, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll see you really soon in my next video. Bye.